Hi, everyone. I'm Mrs. Alterio, and today I'm going to share with you the book Fry Bread, a Native American family story. This book is created by two very talented people, Mr. Kevin Noble Millard and Miss Juana Martinez Neal. And together they've created a book that celebrates and shows us all about a food central to many Native peoples in the United States. Now, while you enjoy this today, I invite you to think about a food that might be special to you, something that you enjoy eating. Perhaps it's something that your family creates together. Maybe it's something you only have for special occasions, or maybe it's something you eat frequently. But I'd like you to think about what it smells like. What does it taste like? How do you feel when you eat it? If it's a food that you make in your house before you eat it, what does it sound like when it's being prepared? And also, here's a big one. Who makes it? And then, of course, who gets to eat it? I think about my husband's mother, and when I think of her, I think of the delicious foods she makes and what they smell like, and what they taste like. And when I think of those foods, I think of her. And when I think of her, I also think of those delicious foods. And so isn't it interesting how food and family are often connected? And that's what Fry Bread, this book, is all about, bringing people together. Let's get started. I'll switch my camera. So Fry Bread is a Native American family story, and if you look on the cover, you'll notice this copy has a book award because Fry Bread was awarded a special children's book award known as the Robert Seibert Medal, which is given every year to the best informational book for children. Now, you may be looking at this book and thinking, Mrs. Alterio, this doesn't look like a nonfiction book. Well, remember, kids, an informational book can look many different ways. And I think you'll find that by the time we're done with this book, you will have discovered something new or learned something new that you didn't know about fry bread, whether you're an expert already about fry bread or this is the very first time you've ever heard of this food. And the purpose of an informational book is to show people and teach us new things or increase our understanding of things we already know. Let's get started. Something to note before we begin the book is that Miss Martinez Neal decided to decorate the end papers of this book in a very special way. Now, end papers, kids, remember, are the pages at the front and back of every book. And many end papers in a book, next time you pick up a book, take a look. They might be simply plain sheets of paper. Or sometimes the illustrator may draw a picture of one of the characters or something from the story. But in this case, Miss Martinez Neal decided to print the names of many, many different Native groups in the United States. So, for example, right here, the name of the Flandreau Santee Sioux tribe. Over here, the Coyote Valley Band of Pomo Indians. Over here, the Burt Lake Band of Ottawa and Chippewa. Or down here, Lac du Flambeau Band of Lake Superior Chippewa Indians. So there are hundreds and hundreds of different groups' names here who are all connected by this food featured in our story today. So Fry Bread is a Native American family story written by Kevin Noble Millard, illustrated by Juana Martinez Neal, published by Roaring Brook Press of New York, and copyrighted 2019. Fry bread is food. Flour, salt, water, cornmeal, baking powder, perhaps milk, maybe sugar, all mixed together in a big bowl. Now, fry bread is shape. Hands mold the dough flat like a pancake, round like a ball, or puffy like Nana's softest pillow. So here they are working together. The flour is flying. Fry bread is sound. The skillet clangs on the stove. The fire blazes from below. Drop the dough in the skillet. Bubbles sizzle and pop. As I look at that pan, I can just hear that dough popping, sizzling as it fries. Neat. Fry bread is color. Golden brown, tan or yellow, deep like coffee, sienna or earth. Light like snow and cream, warm like rays of sun. Beautiful. Fry bread is flavor. See beans or soup? Smell tacos, cheese, and vegetables. Delight in honey and jam. Rise to discover what brings us together. So there is a heaping plate of delicious fry bread, kids, and things to go with it. Now, fry bread is time. On weekdays and holidays, supper or dinner, powwows and festivals, moments together with family and friends. Mr. Mallard, when he was asked about this book after he created it, mentioned that members of his family worked for hours together to create fry bread, and they ate it regularly, but it did take a lot of time. And he always thinks of that when he thinks about fry bread. Fry bread is art. Sculpture, landscape, portrait, our daily craft, shared from teacher to student, a cycle of heritage and fortune. Do you see the kitty peeking out of the basket? Fry bread is history, the long walk, the stolen land. Strangers in our own world with unknown food, we made new recipes from what we had. So there's an older generation of family sharing the history of their people to the kids. Fry bread helps represent that, doesn't it? Now, fry bread is place. Alaska, Kansas, all the way to Maine, down to Delaware, on to Georgia, over to Oklahoma, Colorado, and California. Cities and lands we call home. Remember all those names of native groups on the end papers? Yep, those groups live everywhere, all around the United States. Fry bread is nation. Abenaki, Apache, Arapaho, Ojibwe, Onondaga, Oglala Sioux, Narragansett, Navajo, Nipmuc, Seminole, Shoshone, Sac and Fox, hundreds and hundreds of tribes. Mr. Millard identifies with the Seminole tribe. Fry bread is everything. Round, flat, large, small, north, south, east, west. Brown, yellow, black, white, familiar and foreign, old and new, we come together. Have you ever noticed, kids, if you've looked up at the dark night sky, how small you can feel when you're staring at all those stars, but when you're doing it with others, as they are here, it brings you together, and you gaze at those stars that so many other people throughout time in different places have also looked at. Fry bread is us. We are still here, elder and young, friend and neighbor. Probably one of my favorite pictures in the book. We strengthen each other to learn, change, and survive. Oh, he's trying to get that tasty fry bread. Fry bread is you. Do you think he's enjoying his fry bread? Yeah. The last pages of the book include a recipe for making fry bread, the recipe that Mr. Millard uses in his family, along with all the directions, more wonderful illustrations from Miss Martinez Nael, as well as a note about the history of fry bread and American Native peoples. The end. I hope you enjoyed that, everyone. I'll change cameras. Thanks so much for joining me for Fry Bread.